let's talk about Harv's Island. If you guys are newer to Animal Crossing, or maybe you've just completely ignored it altogether, it used to be a photo studio. It still is, but when you arrived there, the cabin was the only thing that you could go into. There was nothing else there. It was just a little area with the cabin and Harv. You can use the cabin, which is also called Photopia, to call villagers either from your island or by scanning an amiibo. You can also call in NPCs such as Isabelle and Nook. Unfortunately, I don't have access to my amiibos right now, so we're just going to be using my island villagers to demonstrate this. You can make little sets, have them do little reactions. They're basically like dolls. You're playing Dollhouse, essentially. This is not like Happy Home Paradise where they will move around on the Happy Home plot and interact with things. You're just kind of hanging out there, taking some pictures. However, this is the only way that you can get posters from your villagers in the game, same with the NPCs. These posters can be bought from a special tab in the Nook Shopping catalog, either through the Nook Shopping app on your Nook phone or at the little kiosk in Resident Services. These posters are only to hang on the wall. You cannot stand them up on a surface like the villager photos, and they do give you a really good Happy Home Academy score if you have any of them in your house, similar to the photos, especially if they are of villagers that currently live on your island. But what about Harv's Island now? In the 2.0 update, which released almost 3 years ago from the time of me filming this, we were introduced to Harv's Co-op. Harv's Co-op was essentially a way for you to see all of the visiting vendors in one space, with some added bonuses. This is the only place in New Horizons that you can see Katrina and have her read your fortune. It is also where you can have Cyrus customize literally any item in the game. This means that if you want to customize the spooky items, you don't need colored pumpkins to do so. You also don't need feathers to customize the festival items. And if you hate the color of your lighthouse or something in your Resident Services kiosk, you can take it to him and pay some bells and he'll paint it for you. It's really neat. This honestly was the best thing that I think they added in terms of the co-op function. That and the ability for Tortimer to access your storage for you, where you can easily put things in there and take them out, using them with Cyrus, putting them back into storage when you're done. Tortimer also turns into Cornimer during the fall months when it's acorn and pinecone season, and he will give you acorns when you talk to him. He kind of looks scary. In addition to this, you can also see Sahara. Sahara will actually have some special items only available at Harv's Island. There's specific walls, floors, and rugs that you can only get here. I'm not 100% sure what is new and specific to the co-op. You're going to have to look that up on your own. I know there are a lot of things there, though. Kix is also here. He has nothing special. He just sells the same stuff that you can get from him when he visits your Resident Services Plaza. Red, however, will have 2 pieces of art that will differ from what he has if he visits you during the week. Same thing with Kix and any other vendor that sells stuff. The stock that they have when they visit you for a day on your island will be different than what they have at Harv's. Also, stock at Harv's refreshes every Monday, so you will have the same thing all week, except in the case of Red. If you buy a piece of art from him, the next day there will be a different one there. I think I talked about this in my Red video. I'm going to link that up in the cards and whatever. He also has his raffle, which is similar to the one that you can do during the fireworks show on your island in August. However, this raffle is year-round, every day. The items don't change. It's just a random drawing of what you get. This is how you get fun stuff such as the ice cream cones and pocket books. Literally a book that you can walk around with holding and turn pages of. Same thing with the magazine and other fun handheld items too. I talked about this also in my Red video, but it's really fun to go through and give him bells for you to get a random thing. I use a lot of the drinks and snacks, like the donut and the soda and whatever. When I was redoing my island, I would drink some or eat some to refill my stamina so I didn't have to cook a meal or eat fruit or whatever. It was just an easy way to get some stamina to dig up a tree or break a rock. Leaf also doesn't sell anything special. He will have 2 different kinds of flowers, 2 different kinds of shrubs, and 2 different kinds of produce, again similar to whatever he's going to sell on your island when he comes and visits. He also has a weeding service. You can pay him 100,000 bells and he will weed your entire island. Personally, I don't think that it's worth it unless you have tons and tons and tons of weeds, like right after you've potentially unlocked Harv's Island. I don't know, I've never used it. I've heard a lot of people online talking about how it's not worth it, and it might not even really work unless you have like tons and tons of weeds. So you pay him 100,000 bells for his services, and then he'll get weeding. The next day, all of the weeds that he plucks will appear in the recycle bin in your resident services on your island. You can take them out, and you can sell them back to him if you want, because he buys them for double the price of you selling them at Nook's Cranny, which is only 20 bells per weed. Again, I really don't think it's worth it. I think I talked about everybody on Harv's Island, with the exception of Harriet, who we kind of have confirmation here that her and Harv are dating, because he's the only one that can call her Hattie. She has her little shampoodle business that she brings to Harv's co-op. Unfortunately, she doesn't have an actual salon in this game, and it makes me sad. In New Leaf, she had Shampoodle, which was directly above Able Sisters, and you could go to her and she would give you a random makeover based on a series of questions that she asked you. In New Horizons, everything is different and easy to manipulate. She has 8 special hairstyles that you can get from her by going to her once per day and having her do your hair. If you don't like the hairstyle, she'll put you back in your regular hairstyle, and then you can just choose whatever she gave you from the mirror at a later date. It's really not that deep. We're this far in, and I realized I never even actually talked about how to unlock the co-op. To unlock Photopia itself, you will eventually find Harv walking around on your own island after your 3rd villager has moved in. You talk to him, he tells you about the photo studio, which is apparently also his house, and then you can go there. You do need to complete the Photopia tutorial, though, in order for you to unlock the co-op. All this means is you just have to go inside the cabin and go through the prompts. So after you've unlocked Harv's Island and you've achieved 3 stars on your island, you will start seeing little gyroids that kind of look like Harv, and you pay them 99,000 bells each to unlock each specific vendor. Again, you can only unlock 1 vendor per day. I think I went with unlocking Cyrus first so he could customize all my stuff. I think at the bare minimum, your first 3 unlocks should be Cyrus, Tortimer, and Red in whatever order that you want. Red specifically if you are still working on your museum's art gallery. Harv's Island is a really nice place to be able to get stuff, but you can only go there. You can't have friends come and visit you, and it really stinks. Of course, you can still access the photo cabin anytime you want. The vendors typically close up shop at around midnight, I think, sometimes. Depends on the vendor. Also, if there is a vendor visiting you on your island, such as Leaf or Red, any of them that can visit you, their RV will be shut down for the day because they are off visiting you. Well, I hope you found this informative. I know it was a little bit all over the place here, but I think we kind of got through it together. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave any comments, feedback, and suggestions down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!